Hi there, come on in. I'm Fred Trost, and I want to take you fishing tonight for the biggest fish we have in Michigan. That's the sturgeon. And during the month of February, you can spear them in Mullet, Burt, and Black Lakes. We're going to go to Black Lake right up here with the Archambault family. The Archambaughs made headlines this year in the local paper. They speared 10% of the sturgeon that were taken during the month of February. And Clarence took a 152-pounder 2 years ago, the largest one in 1982. And Clarence has a home video recorder. He took some shots up there of some pretty exciting moments. There's a big one, an 80-pounder out on the ice. But we're going to take you sturgeon spearing right up here in Black Lake and have outdoor headlines a lot more, so you stay tuned because it's Thursday night. Time for Michigan Outdoors.
From the rugged shore and woodlands of the north, it's history of copper mines and iron ore, the Great Lakes fisheries. To the farmlands of the southern counties, we'll look around again at all that waits the sportsman in the state of Michigan.
Well, this is what Black Lake is like on February 17th here, 1984. It's a mess. Very difficult to get out here. They're using snowcats to get out on the ice, and we've come upon a shanty here where we found a sturgeon. First one we heard about this afternoon that's been speared. Laying here, the guys must be inside. You guys in there? Come on out. Michigan Outdoors calling on you.
Oh,
How you doing? Who are you?
Neil Smith.
And you're from where?
Well, I'm right here from Black Lake.
And who are you?
My buddy Larry Vincent.
Larry, which one of you got the sturgeon?
Well, I got the fish, and I've been telling him all about sturgeon fishing, and so after I got him on the spear, I said, I give him the rope and the
Wow.
gaff. I says, you bring him out so you know what it's like.
Well, okay, why don't you pick this up here, Neil? Pick it up, and I want to ask Larry about how the battle was. So after he got it on the spear, what was it like?
It was fought pretty good. It kept going around in circles.
How long did it take?
About 5 minutes.
Well, that's a pretty good battle. Where,
Yeah.
Is your spear in here?
Yes.
it is.
Could you get it?
Sure.
Is that possible?
I set this thing down.
You want to set it down?
Yeah.
Well, no, this is what we do on Michigan Outdoors, you know,
We
for our
do,
big
eh?
trophy fish. Let's take a look at this here. Turn it around. Not what you'd call a beautiful lips on this, but that's what he extends to suck up things off the bottom.
Yeah, that's what they suck the crabs out. They put that big mouth down and just like a big vacuum cleaner and sucks their bait out, and that's what they feed on is the crabs that's on the bottom.
Crawdads, crayfish, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Look at those barbels. They feel with those probably out front.
Yeah, I think they find they feel with them like on their holes for the crab holes, and they feel that hole and then they get over it and start sucking. I think that's what they do, but I'm not real sure. But
Okay, well, Larry, this is the spear.
Yes.
Wow, that's a big one. Has a rope attached. That's heavy.
yeah,
How much does this weigh?
What does it weigh, Neil?
28 pounds.
Wow. So you can almost let that go.
Oh yeah.
And
You
that's
just
what
guide it and give it a little toss, and it does the rest. If you're on, you know.
So this was your first day sturgeon spearing?
No, this is my second year.
Oh, second year, but your first time you had one on.
Yes.
Well, that must be exciting. How are your arms there, Neil?
They're tired.
Well, here, why don't we do a Michigan Outdoors typical shot here? You pick up the tail there, Larry, since both of you got it. Larry and Neil from Black Lake, and this is how long of a fish?
I believe we measured it at 52 inches. And
2 inches over the minimum.
Yeah.
It
And
needs-
it's about 40 pounds, somewhere in that range.
Okay, well, that's a nice fish, fellas. I'm glad we came upon this. We're going to go, you know Clarence Archambault?
Yes, I do. He's
Okay.
a neighbor of mine, known him for years, and
Okay,
he's
well-
quite a fisherman.
Bob Garner is over there in that 22-foot shanty. We're going to go over there and find out what it's like to be inside the shanty. You can set that down now, fellas.
Okay,
Hey, thanks a
thank you.
lot. Good luck.
Thank you.
That's a sturgeon spearing success story. Not an extremely common occurrence, but the average on Black Lake was a little more than 1 sturgeon a day for all the fishermen on the ice. The Archambault family has the largest shanty on the lake, 22 feet long. That's enough for a crowd. But the object of an ice shanty is not to be large, but to be warm and dark. Most shanties have gas or oil heaters. They're well insulated and they're windproof. But probably the biggest advantage is the darkness. When your eyes adjust, you can peer down through the hole in the ice to the bottom of the lake, and that's a different world, but one that's full of anticipation for the anglers on top. The heavy spears are suspended on the edge of the large hole with the tines in the water ready for action. And Clarence has a home video recorder, which he's pretty good with. And one day he captured the action inside this 22-foot shanty.
There's one, Gil.
Where?
Just to the right of the decoy. Just right on bottom. Right to the right of the decoy.
There it is. Okay.
Ooh,
Man,
I don't know. I think you missed him. I think you missed, huh?
No, he's on there.
Huh?
He's on there.
You sure?
Yeah, I got something on there. Hey, Red! Red! Bring your gaff hook over. Red's gonna...
Okay.
You see it yet?
Yeah, I can't see the fish. You got him? You sure you got him the way?
Yeah, he's on there. Starting to twitch.
Oh, I just barely see it. Just the tail, just a little. Oh, I see it now, but just barely underneath the decoy.
Start fighting.
Got one?
Yeah.
Yeah, hurry up.
He's coming in.
Wait.
Big one?
No.
No. He ain't really.
Ooh, now I can see him. Now I can see him.
He's a nice one. He's a good one.
See if you can get him out in the center of the hole more, like.
Pretty good.
Huh?
Yeah, you got it good, I think.
You got him pretty good, eh?
Yeah,
Oh, I guess so.
I think you hit him in the backbone.
Paralyzed him, I think.
Paralyzed him. He's a beaut.
Gotta get this spear out of him.
This one turned out to be a 63-inch female that weighed 58 pounds, not a record size by any means, but a real trophy that provided some good eating as well as a lot of thrills for the Archambault family. Clarence has gotten pretty good with his home video recorder. During the summer, he was able to capture some interesting tape of mature sturgeon spawning in the Black River. He said for about 2 days, several 6-footers could be seen right next to some docks along the Black River. During their spawning, they seemed unbothered by humans standing only a few feet away. Clarence's camera picked up the shapes of these prehistoric fish as they sometimes rubbed against the pilings. And at one point, Clarence's son could actually reach down and feel that leather-like skin. The eggs of some of these sturgeon were taken by the DNR, hatched and raised until the baby sturgeon were 3 months old. And on August 15th, 1,187 of these miniature monsters were released into Black Lake. Now, don't get any big ideas about spearing one of these in your lifetime because sturgeon grow slowly. It might take 50 years or more before these will become fair game in the lake. Minimum legal size is 50 inches, so these fish have a ways to go. You know, sitting in a shanty next to a large hole in the ice is interesting. It's sort of hypnotic when you're by yourself, and with other anglers, it's very relaxing. You know, you talk about, what you do with $1 million and things like that, and every now and then a big fish cruises through. Might not be a sturgeon either. Clarence's son Gil speared a 20-pound muskie that drifted under the shanty, a master angler trophy that makes the record book. And here's a good-sized sturgeon, an 80-pounder taken by Bob Thompson. But what's the call of a frozen lake that beckons anglers into dark shanties in the middle of the winter? Well, let's ask him.
He got his fish here one. Joe Taylor, you got yours?
I got one the second day of the season.
Really? Was that your first sturgeon?
That's the first one. I've been coming up 18 years.
18 years. Wasn't it getting a little disappointing after about the 12th year?
Well, it takes a lot of sweet oil and perseverance to stay with it.
I bet. What's the secret to sturgeon spearing?
Patience.
Well, what brought you up here? What beckoned you to try sturgeon spearing?
Well, me and my friends, we all take a crack at every place, and we thought we'd try this once. And we never have tried it before, and we thought it'd be exciting,
And how's it been exciting? If you haven't seen anything, was it exciting?
Well, we had fun playing euchre.
Well, you may not get a sturgeon or even see one, but a ride to a shanty in Boyd Christ's Snowcat is an event all its own. All a part of sturgeon spearing in Michigan Outdoors. The final tally sturgeon spearing on Black Lake was 37 sturgeon. On Mullet Lake, there was only one. On Burt Lake, they caught 2. And the largest one was a 152-pounder. That was the largest one this year. Speaking of closures of season, sturgeon was in February. Walleye season closed statewide in February, but Lake Gogebic, just before it closed, produced a 12-pounder. Here is where the snow is on the western part of the UP if you want to go snowmobiling or cross-country skiing, and I think it's safe to say it's still going to be there this weekend. You can also, right now, let's go to a fish story from our Sportsman's Banquet we held back in January at Roma's of Livonia. We joked a lot at that banquet. Carp is really good eating. We kidded Chad Warden about that. He caught the third largest carp in 1983. How big do you suppose the third largest one was? How big was it?
33 pounds.
33-pound carp. Lake Cora, Van Buren County. I don't have the list right here which one the largest one was, but do you remember the largest carp?
No, I don't.
33 pounds. Lake Cora, were you fishing for carp?
No, I was fishing for bass.
For bass.
On 8-pound test line.
8-pound test. How long did it take you to bring it in?
About 15 minutes.
Was it fun?
I guess so. It was sort of like bringing in a log.
Bringing in a log?
Yeah.
I hate to ask this, but where'd you bury it?
My dad's stomach.
Your dad's what?
Stomach.
He ate it?
He wanted it smoked.
Smoked carp. Isn't it great?
No. Tasted like seaweed.
Yeah?
We thought it tasted like seaweed. He sort of liked it.
Well, I tell you, people who like salads would love smoked carp. That's all we can say. Congratulations, Chad. Julius Matei, 11-pound channel cat, caught in Wixom Lake, and I'm going to let him tell you what he caught it on. Whew. The rest of the channel cat people, here he is. Okay, Julius, this man was fishing at 10 in the morning, Wixom Lake, Gladwin County. And Julius, I want to hear what you were using for bait and why.
I heard a chicken liver is very good for catfish.
Okay, chicken liver you thought was good.
No, I tried, I don't catch. And I was in a store and I look at pork liver, I buy pork liver. And first I don't catch, next time I let rotten a little bit. And I catch one, I lost it, and I catch a big one and I get it.
How about that? The tip for the evening, rotten pork liver. It caught you
11 3/4 pounds.
11 3/4 pounds. Okay.
30.5 inch long.
30.5 inches. This man is a serious catfish fisherman, Julius. Congratulations and thanks for the tip. Well, that's something that we have a letter in our Club Digest, mailbag from one of our viewers.
Right, from Owasso. How many DNR law officers are there in Michigan? The ones that check hunters to see if they have a license, because I never see them.
Bob, you've seen him.
Yeah, I had 5 times since turkey season last year. I've been checked by an officer. It's roughly 160 to 170 officers that actually go out and check licenses, bag limits, that sort of thing.
And how many are at one time out there?
You figure it out, split it into 40-hour weeks.
So that's about 3 per county?
Yeah, about half
2 per county.
About half an officer per 8-hour shift in one county.
And one of those half officers checked me up in the UP, and this is how it went. The cameras were rolling when he walked up to my shanty.
Who is it? Who is it? A conservation officer?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
No. Any fish?
No. Hey, this is unbelievable. I hope you're here to check my license.
Yeah. How long you been here?
Oh, a couple hours.
Nothing at all, eh?
I've seen some crawdads. I've been trying to catch some crawdads down there, and one bluegill came through, but that's about it.
What else you got for a lure there?
Well, there's a sucker minnow.
Big sucker on there?
Look at that.
That's a beauty.
Yeah.
They got a 23-pounder here a few days ago.
Pike?
Yeah, pike, northern.
Holy cow. Oh, you gotta check my license. You know, I had this in my briefcase, and just before we left, I said, maybe I ought to bring my license. And Garner said, oh, why? This is Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, that's usually when we have most of the people out, but the weather kind of held them back, so. Geez, you got enough stamps on there.
I know, wow. You gotta do a little bit of everything.
I guess so.
How's business this afternoon?
Oh, pretty slow. A few perch over in Ottawa Lake, and you're about the only ones out here. Okay, Fred, thank you.
Okay, well, you just go from shanty to shanty, knocking on the door?
Right, group to group, shanty to shanty. Normally we have a lot more fishermen out, but I guess the weather changed that.
Now, why is it I haven't seen anything for hours?
I think it's, we had about 2 weeks of south wind, warm weathers, and the fish really moved well. And last night it switched over to the north, and I think that's just put them right off.
Yeah, I have to have some excuse.
Yeah.
What's your name, by the way?
Frank Paralero.
Glad to meet you, Frank.
Glad to meet you.
Good. Well, Garner's in the next shack. Go check him.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Give him some trouble.
Have a nice day.
Okay.
Couldn't believe it when that officer came up. You know, I thought it was you, and I was joking. I said, who's a conservation officer?
You're lucky.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah,
You're
I'm
lucky.
good that I have my license with me. But they're friendly. Get out and talk with them. They're enjoyable people
They
to be
sure are.
with in the outdoors. With all we have to be so grateful for in the outdoors of Michigan, we do have a sad note that we want to mention right now, the passing of Russ Bengal. He was 85 years old. He was a friend of hunters, fishermen, of us at Michigan Outdoors, of Habitat, a patriarch of Ducks Unlimited, and he was also a good, close, personal friend of Ted Nugent's, his hunting partner. And let's close the show with some videotape of Ted and Russ Bengal.
Limit over there. We each got, I think, 6 that day.
Yeah.
And we had either cans or redheads, and they were pretty near all drakes, I think.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a perfect example of what Habitat. If they could have just drawn a line, a compromise between what the shipping needed to open up the water, but to leave enough of that salary for the ducks, we'd probably, the ducks would be in there like they used to be. Do you think so?
I think they would be. I think they would if the same number of hunters were in there, like they were the rest of the time.
Yeah.
But
maybe
of course,
someday I'll get to see
well,
that.
you and I have had a lot of fun, you know.
Yeah,
you have aggravated the hell out of me by your uncanny shooting. We sit in a blind, and if there's only 2 ducks, I don't even bother to get up, because before I get on my feet, the ducks are on the water.
That's only because I ask first, though. I make sure that I have your okay. You don't remember that part?
I never heard that. I must have those earmuffs you gave me when I come to a rock concert. I've probably forgotten left those in, Ted.
No, I always ask you if I can shoot first. I remember that specifically.
But I never forgive you when we're shooting out in the blind and we take turns. You shoot till you miss, and then I shoot till I miss. And when you get that duck out there about 80 yards, and you pull up, and if I don't kill it, you will. And you pull up and holler, shoot, and I shoot, and the damn duck is out there 80 or 90 yards. I get so mad sometimes I could...
Sheer luck, sheer luck. All 42 times. Every time was lucky.
Yeah.
I've had a good teacher. I don't think there's many people that can say they've hunted with somebody that knows or has experienced what you have out in the waterfowling world. So, thanks.